Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rensport Twitch channel. Here today with a new league, with new cars, a new track, a lot of new things. What is not new, that is my voice and the voice of the commentator alongside me, who is Tim Ireland. Welcome, Tim.
Hello, Lino. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. It's a fantastically sunny day here in the UK, which is a rarity. But I hope it's great where you guys are, and thanks for joining us today for some Rensport.
Indeed, it is very, very warm today for this time in the year. And we have some very, very challenging cars to be driven by our few contestants, with most people electing to go for the GT3 race instead, taking a bit safer approach to this new track of Le Mans. Before we jump into the action, it may be worth having a look at what we have in this league. And with this league, we of course focus on the new content. So today we will have the Group C cars on the high-speed variant of Le Mans, which means no chicane, maximum top speed, and potentially some slipstream fights, even with lesser cars on track. Before we move on into the next era, one of the shortest golden eras in motorsport, but still a very glorious one, GT1 cars. This being on the chicaned version of the track. And then in 2 weeks' time, hypercars, which of course are our current era of cars, with a new addition in the Peugeot 9X8. And I think those will be a very interesting mix to follow out throughout.
Yeah, it's definitely showcasing the Le Mans 24-hour track that we just included with the last DLC, and some of the great kind of touring cars from across the spectrum of time that we have. And it being the Endurance Classics pack, of course, we have some Endurance Classics in it.
Yeah, and I mean, we can also take a look at the rulebook for this season. It's the point system you are used to from the RNL and RCL championships. So based on the amount of drivers, you get a certain amount of points depending on how many of those you beat. And yeah, with these 3 rounds, you don't have to worry about fuel, you don't have to worry about damage. Or you have to worry about damage, but you don't at least need to worry about strategy in that race. I think especially here at Le Mans, strategy is something that comes lesser into play than driving skill. But let's take a look at the cars out on track, with qualifying being on the way, the first lap times being driven here by Dennis Kurzer. And you can see this long one. The car gets very loose here down into turn 1 on the rear end. Hard braking zone. And then you have the start of the downhill section again. With this car specifically, can be quite tricky. I think that will be a theme throughout. The cars are not being pushed as hard as you may see in more modern machinery. These cars, of course, back in the day, being more about fuel saving and actually lasting the distance than pushing for 24 hours straight. But then you get onto this very, very long straight. And these cars really built for the straights, aren't they?
Yeah, it was a time in endurance racing, I think, where because it had the huge straight without the chicanes we have in now, you just make so much time by being quick on the straights. The cars were essentially built for that, and then you just nursed it around the rest of the track as best you could.
Very, very
Especially
much
with
so
cars like the Porsche that we've got. There was the long and the short version of it, the long version being used on the quicker tracks like Le Mans, just to optimize that as much as possible.
Piotr Zadal currently in the lead of qualifying.